Yeah, you right there. Yeah, you right there. Just not getting up right there. Yeah, I see you. Yeah, I see you looking at yourself in the mirror right there, doubting. Hey, man, get that doubt out your face. Hey, get that doubt out your heart.
So, my name is Dr. Nemeka Weke. I was born in Nigeria, Enugu State specific. Do you guys know where Nigeria is? You know Nigeria? Have you been to Africa before? Never been. You want to go to Africa? Good, good. You guys should visit Africa. Everyone should get an opportunity to visit Africa, see what your root feels like. And I think that's important. So yeah, I came here, 1998. My family won a lottery visa to get here. So by the grace of God, we was able to come here, stayed a few months, a couple weeks in New York, took the Greyhound bus all the way down to Dallas, Texas, and then I grew up over here in Dallas, Texas. While growing up, I spent most of my time in the Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD. That's why I went to elementary school, middle school, and high school. Then from high school, I went off to University of Houston. From University of Houston, I went to, you smiling? You from Houston?
No.
You want to go U of H? Oh, you going U of H? Okay, that's what's up. That's good. Go Cougs. So, yeah, and then from there, I went to St. George's in Grenada for medical school. So I just graduated from medical school last summer, and currently right now, I'm still in the process of getting to residency and furthering my training. But in the meanwhile, I have a platform called Doctorsmessage. And of course, it's a unique name because I'm becoming a doctor and I feel like I have a message. It's not only for healthcare individuals. Reason why I feel that is important, I grew up talking to my friends. You understand? And you know, it's like a transfer of the pep talk that I'll get from my dad and also the pep talk I'll get from the coaches. There's nothing as important as somebody structuring you. And I think this is important because you guys are already starting well in a foundation. I remember an organization that my teacher in high school had was Bridging the Gap mentoring program. So in my high school, you could basically divide it like this. You know, the white folks, they'll be going to class already between bells. Second floor, you see all the black folk. Third floor, you see all the Mexicans. It's either they got their teddy bears and, you know, somebody, you know, things like that. And then it was just that it was separated like that. And as I look back now, that type of separation, no one really spoke about that. And, you know, we Bridging the Gap Mentor Program allowed people to come connect and grow from that. So you guys, I'm glad there's a mix of individuals in this program, you know, because everyone needs this enhancement. Looking at the shirt, it says faith, fight, and finish. That's really what life is really about, right? You guys are still under an institution, which is high school. You're privileged. You may not look like you got the best privilege like some other high schools. You know, this is Carter, legendary Carter at that. You understand? Was it my sophomore year when I tore my ACL? That's Michael Crabtree, senior year. He played quarterback. He was killing in basketball. Texas Tech wanted him to play. Bob Knight wanted him to play. He was running around. I remember that game. Sideline, my knee brace and everything. It's just what Carter is about on the sports aspect. But when they gave me options of schools to pick for Just Living Foundation, I said, I'm coming to Carter. I could have gone to Sunset. But I said, I want to come to Carter. And I'm glad I'm here today because, you know, I think the message will not only help you guys, but it'll leave an imprint that years to come, you know, it'll help you. It's like a baton going forward. So one of the most important things I want to talk about is mindset. I'm huge about mindset. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why it's important that, you know, you don't get down on yourself based on your mistakes. And I'm going to give you an example why. So back in high school, you know, my parents, they used to give us like $100, you know, to go get school supply. And then back then, all my friends, you know, Tall Teeth, Fila, buy two for $89. You guys are too young. So back then, it used to be buy two for $89.99. And, you know, if you had $50 and then you could split with your friends so you could be fresh, you know, stuff like that. So imagine $100 is not enough, right? So you try to scam your way into that. So It was a particular day I went with one of my friends to the mall, and I used to think I was slick. I used to think I was slick that I could go to like a Ross or something like that and then never get caught because I stole a shirt or stole some shoes and things like that. So on this particular day, we went to the mall and I wanted these basketball shorts, these Michael Jordan shorts. Everybody wanted Michael Jordan shorts. And so I remember taking these shorts, and my friend, he never took his own. We walked out already. So I'm like, bro, why didn't you take those shorts? So we go back. I go to help him take some shorts. And then upon leaving, that's when the security came and caught me. We both went to the back. You come back in. We both went to the back, and then went to the station, got our prints. I remember I came to the mall with my mom and my siblings that day too. So imagine they're looking for me. They didn't find me, and when my mom finally found out that I was at the station, I was the worst. And I remember looking back, although I was younger, an event like that taught me a valuable lesson. I never stole again, just not only because you don't realize what your decisions not only does for you, but the people around you. So you got to realize that, right now you young and you doing certain, this is a small detail, this small event. It could have been worse. Imagine if I never got caught. Then they left from able to, steal something like this. Then you never get caught. The next thing you know, you start thinking about stealing cars because of your situation. There's a statement out there is that your circumstances, I can't read it, I can't recite it, but basically it's like your circumstances is not your excuse, but it's your choices. You have a choice. You have a choice to either keep talking and outside when the passive period, or come in on time before the bell ring and get the front seat. But you're running late, and then there's that girl that you want to talk to, you want to catch her to give her your number. But you waited. And then you come in, then everyone already signed in. Maybe the teacher was probably giving out some extra credit. And you missed that opportunity. She may have said today, I'm going to see who's really paying attention, who's been paying attention all through. And in the first 5, they gave an extra 10 points credit. And you missed that opportunity because you were chasing something that's always going to be around. Mindset. What's most important? So you got to ask yourself, what is most important? What's my value? You want to go to University of Houston. My question is, what do you want to be? Psychologist. So you want to be a psychologist, right? So question now is going to be, when you get to college, when you get to University of Houston, it's going to be a career fair day going on, right? There's going to be organizations going on. There's going to be ample of things you can put your hand into. But the question now is, if you know where you're going, now you're going to ask yourself, what organization can I join? So you got to join organizations that are going to enhance you and put you in that position to become a psychologist. If you want to go to psychology, you got to go into medical school, right? So now you got to put yourself in an organization that's about medicine. You got to put yourself in organizations that's going to allow you to get scholarships. But you're not going to put yourself in organizations that's going to be about partying. And if you don't see that early, if you don't have a mentor, and some people, pledge, the incentive of pledging is that, you're going to have mentors. But some people navigate the wrong way because their mindset is off. It's either they pledge and their grades drop, or some people pledge, their grade may drop a little bit, but they're still stable enough to make sure when they apply, their GPA is not a hindrance. Because if you make that mistake and then on a snapshot of a paper or your CV, they're going to ask, what organization did you join? What summer camps did you do? What research have you done? They're going to look at your GPA. So they're going to say 2.5 GPA is saying this about you. You might be the most passionate. They may never have known that you lost your dad or that you lost your mom or then you didn't get a scholarship or you have to take a semester off. They just look at your GPA. They don't care. If your mindset is right and your intent is right and you know your value, you got to seek that. Because the scary point is your background is going to always keep chasing you. Because you can look around here and it's easy to fall back. For example, in my community, there's a Nigerian. You find them breathe. Why? Because your peers are either becoming lawyers, doctors, this and that. Like that's you starting off with it's not a dull knife. They're putting a real knife to that meat, and it's cutting through. There's a meat that we like to eat called suya. Anybody heard about suya? You ever tried suya? I should have brought some suya to you. But if you ever see these people cut the meat, like they barely even put the knife on the meat. It's already cut. I'm using that metaphor to say that's how my culture is. That's why when you look at the statistic, you see a lot of Nigerians. There's a lot of great other countries in Africa, but you see a lot of Nigerians securing positions, doing excellent. Why I say that is because of the imprint. You can't allow your background. So we got to start doing that. You guys are going to be the ones that are coming out from this community, going to be great. You guys are going to be great. You're going to come back to this high school, this legendary high school. You're going to speak the same message and to encourage. Because you're not doing this. Listen, all of you guys heard about Nipsey Hussle dying, and it's very impactful to a lot of people. Why? It's because this is somebody who didn't allow his circumstances to keep him where he's at. He looks like his situation. He looks like his background, but his mindset changed. Your mindset is gold. Because when they see how strong your mind is, they see what you can do, what you can provide. A lot of people's problem nowadays is their mental health. And when your mental health is off, because of the challenges you face, you fall back. You relapse. You back drinking. It's like your excuse. You back smoking. Like it's your excuse. You calling that chick that you're supposed to get off and not talk to no more because that's your excuse. You do things that is easy just to do, and you want to make an excuse. You can't make an excuse for yourself. I thought I wanted to go to the NFL. That's my dream. High school, all we did was work out, pursue that dream, things like that. I rerouted. I didn't take my scholarship. I did Domino's Pizza after high school. I was delivering pizza. Then I went to Brookhaven Community College in Farmers Branch. Then from Brookhaven, said, you know what, I'm going to transfer. I'm going to go to University of Houston. I go to University of Houston. I had all these people tell me, hey, University of Houston is very distracting. When you go there, yeah, it's very challenging. It's a big school. It's turned into a good HBCU now. They got all the Greeks on campus now. It's popping, so it's a good time to be at U of H. But there's a lot of people who didn't make it through college. And I think what was important to me was not only because I knew I didn't want to fail my parents, number one. I didn't want to fail myself. Also because I say, you know what? I have a dream I want to pursue. When I say I want to become a physician, I knew the challenges. I treated that challenge the same way as I treated it as when I was going to play football. I said, you know what? No one even passed down knowledge for me, but I had to still seek it. I had to ask questions. She has so much knowledge. If you say, hey, she has so much knowledge that just 10 minutes is valuable. If you seek that, if you ask the right questions. If you know what you want, you could go home and do some research and say, okay, I want to ask this this advisor these 5 questions. Why? Because I have a plan. The problem for you guys is going to be like, you know where you want to go. But who's going to give you the resources? How do you get there? Who's going to tell you? No one is coming here and just giving you the game unless they really love you. So I'm gonna get to the next point. Mindset. Love yourself. Number 3, become great communicators. Never feel afraid of communication. Because what you communicate, can help you get exactly where you need to get to. But if you don't say it, there's always this statement like, closed mouth don't do what? Get fed. Right? Never be scared to ask. I'm going to give you an example. So I myself, I've gone through a lot of struggles. You might see a doctor in front of my name, and it might look good, but I've got through struggles to get there. I took the medical exam to get into medical school 4 times. I applied twice to get into medical school. Never got an interview twice. I was ready to take it a 5th time. That's when I say, you know what, I'm going to apply to schools outside of the country. Because at this point, that's how hungry I am. I got blessed. I did that. Midway through medical school, I lost my dad. You know what I'm saying? And that's huge, right? But emotionally, I had to become tougher. There's no excuse. There's no time for emotions. Like but your emotions matter. I want to let you know that. But I'm going to tell you, after you cry, you still have to do what? You continue. Just after it rains and the soil gets soft, that's the perfect time to sow a new seed. Because when it comes together, it's different than what it looked like before. I always try to tell people, it's not about what it looks like. It's about what it feels like. What does it feel like to you? That's what matters most. They don't care if you cried that you never got in. They don't care about, they care about what you show them. You know, us black folks, minorities, we have a lot of flair, creativity, and all these things. Soul food, parties, things like. We understand that language, but what's most important is structure. What they want is structure. If it's not on paper, we don't know this kid. All we know is that they're from Dallas. Where they go to high school? Carter. Or they didn't go to charter high school or something, things like that. They didn't go to, South Lake Carroll. They didn't go to the Planos. They didn't go to Highland Parks. Just by mere going to Highland Park and South Lake Carroll, that's a proving that, hey, these people come from a place of great investment. And we know that the teachers there were focused and their state exams, they're passing very, very well. But you guys have to see that, and that's what's important. Right now, you guys are eating healthy. This is great. A lot of the things that's negative in our culture is that diabetes, hypertension, all of these things, the foods we eat, we're thinking we're doing ourselves good because every corner store has a Black and Mild. There's a Black and Mild in every corner store. And part of the culture is that, I'm about to smoke a Black and Mild. And it's cool. You never understand, you never use your mind to actually understand what you're doing. There's a lot of mindlessness that's going on and not a lot of questioning, right? Because you're looking at the wrong people as opposed to looking at the right people to shape where you need to go. So that's why I say I hope I'm a spark plug today, and what I say is resonating, because I know you taking it in. You're going to take this like a baton. You're going to go to college with it, and you might forget at some point. But then it's going to come in that classroom, and you're going to remember you might be in class snoozing, and the teacher wake you up. And you're like, oh, wow, I remember that talk back then. If I want to be like this guy, if I want to become this, I need to do this. Because it's easier to hear something, but when you're faced with it and how you react is key. So I'm going to share a testimony with y'all. So this is my second time applying residency. Residency is a step after you go to medical school, right? I wanted to become an orthopedic surgeon. I applied the first time. I didn't match. I said, okay, cool. It was painful. I rolled with the punches because I said, you know what? If I have a set of principles, I have to live by these principles. If I tell people you got to get up and do it again, I got to get up and do what? Do it again. But I wasn't the person talking anymore. I needed to listen to other people to remind me who I was. So that's most important. Make sure the people around you know who you are, so when you lose your mind, they're able to bring you right back. Because if they don't know who you are, they can't reset you. Every time you see a physician or come to the hospital, they do what? They do a baseline check. They know where your blood pressure is. They know what your respiration rate is. They know what your sugar level is at that time. So that when you come back, if anything's off, we're going to say we need to medicate you so we can bring you right back to homeostasis. But if nobody ever knows who you are, they can't bring you right back. That's why important your community is key. Don't come out here, don't come in the classroom trying to be the clown or try to be impressing somebody else. And then by the end of the school year, when your grade is low, you get checked, you start telling the teacher, nah, that's not how I am. Because for me, it was too late. We're going up the escalator, and I said, man, I got money. I could pay for these shorts right now. She said, no, you already took it. It's already on camera. It's too late. So I go back there. I'm seeing fingernails on the floor to let me know that other kids have been back here too. Sitting in the car seat, hard, like this. And I'm actually like, is this really me? These are things I remember at this point. And I look at myself then, I said, you was just fooling yourself. You ain't impressing anyone. Because those friends I used to roll with, one of my friends, he's serving 50. Because he decided to go and steal a vehicle and then go and steal in somebody's house. Now you're going to steal somebody's house that's actually on TV that's telling the news. You weren't very watchful. Because even with your schemes, you're going to get caught. So basically, my closure is I want to let you guys know. If I said anything today that didn't make any sense, let me know. But I'm going to tell you the most important thing moving forward, especially benefiting well from this program and this foundation, is that you guys matter. Your tomorrow matters, regardless if you become that. See, for me, I may not become an orthopedic surgeon, but this second time around, my buddy right here is a witness. I was down, but I already started working out. So I told myself, even in this week, so match week is like a week, right? You find out Monday if you matched, and Friday you find out where you matched to. So when you find out on Monday that you didn't match, those that don't understand, match week is you match into a residency position. So you find out Monday that you didn't match, you're in panic mode. So it's the rest of the week is scramble. The computer generates programs are still on field, and you there like refreshing, and you know your blood pressure is up. Like that's my mode. Everything was fight or flight mode, because I've been there before. I was much calmer. But then that doubt started creeping in. The fact that I was in that water, and I never quite got out on time, but I was rescued after I was already drenched. I was like, man, how I know it's not going to be the same way this time? But I told myself, that's the time. This is times like this. So you got to have faith in God and what you're going through. It may not show you right then, but faith is a long thing. Faith is an endurance. And having faith in God means you have faith in yourself and your ability. So you know what? I had to get up every single day still, 5 a.m. in the morning, working out every day. After you work out, you get a sense of confidence, and then the rest of it, I'm thinking about the outcome. What's tomorrow going to be like? The longest week of this year so far. I go through that week, I didn't get a thing. And I'm just like, man, I'm back at this thing again. So what am I going to do? But you know what? I say, I got to keep trusting the process. People say trust the process, but you don't know. You the process. You make it happen. You the law. There's something called laws of attraction. So every step you take in everything you do, from the morning you wake up, from the breakfast you eat, from the lunch you eat, from driving to this gas station, there's something that's going to happen because you did what? You took a step forward. You got to keep going. You could create something out of nothing. That's what matter is. You can't see it. It looks like nothing, but it's there. You can't take it. But when it precipitates and it changes and stuff like that, you look at the atmosphere like, how do clouds come up? There's a possibility. So today, I've been diligent, sending emails, trying to find the next best thing I can do while I'm still going to keep going. So today when I was in the gym today, it's been, 2 weeks now? Since then? 2 weeks now. Right when I was getting off the bar, I got a notification. I had an interview yesterday. I got a notification. And I got accepted into a program that I can be doing, at least still building myself up to why I can move forward. Why is that so important? Why was that victory to me? Because I learned that diligence is better sometimes than what you get. Because in the journey of becoming diligent, in your failures, the character that what happens internally is different than what happens externally. Because there are people in high positions, CEOs, orthopedic surgeons, plastic surgeons, people that character is bad. And when they get in that position, that green reaper that's been chasing them, trying to wait for them when they're not focused, they're going to get caught up. So everything that they had, they didn't have a solid foundation. So I'm going to tell y'all right now, your foundation, regardless of the amount of money that you have, the title in your name, your foundation is key. Who you are, when you get older, and Alzheimer's, God forbid, you know, stuff like that, you start losing a little memory, is what you put, it's what you did that people are going to remind you of. So when you're forgetting, you're like, that's who you are. So just like the recent event with the loss of Nipsey, a lot of people didn't know who Nipsey Hussle was. They weren't following his album. But now everybody's doing research. The community is saying great things. Everybody, man, they're not saying one bad thing. And people who even know him are even looking more into him and bringing more things. There's a, you know, I've been reading a plan, and one of the things that I read today was talking about how because you're crushed, don't mean you out. You being crushed is allowing God to ferment you. Y'all should know what fermentation is. To ferment you is a process. Anytime a seed is planted or a seed dies or covered, it's going through fermentation. And that's the most powerful process, because through that fermentation, you become something. You can look at a seed, and the seed is out there. It has a potential. Don't date somebody because they're potential. Date somebody that's allowing themselves to be fermented, to become something. And that's who y'all should be. So I'm going to close this like this. Go out there today, tomorrow, in the future, and become something. So that foundation, you can just keep living, because that's what it's about. Because Matthew McConaughey, he lost his dad, and he founded his foundation. Fermented this organization so that you guys can benefit from it. It's all a process. It's Doctor's Message. Peace.